Adam Taliaferro is a former Penn State football player who suffered paralyzing injury in 2000, spinal cord injury, playing in only his 5th game of his college career. As he made a tackle, the running back's knee slammed into Adam's head, snapping it back and crushing his 5th vertebrae. Doctors told Adam's parents that he had only a 3% chance of ever walking again. Amazingly, on September 1st, 2001, less than 1 year after the injury, Adam, dressed in street clothes, led Penn State onto the field of the season opener in front of 109,000 fans at Beaver Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Adam Taliaferro to South Central, Pennsylvania.
Tom Bradley, our defensive coordinator, came up to me that week of practice. I got my cast off finally. He said, you know, you got your cast off? We're going to get you in there a little more. You're going to get some more playing time. And, you know, I was calm. So, oh, great. You know, playing it cool. I remember running back to my dorm, calling everyone saying, I'm playing a lot this weekend. Make sure you watch. I remember walking out to the stage through the tunnel. And again, me being a freshman, looking around and saying, wow, I've never seen this much red in my life. And you hear the people, you know, doing their OH, IO, and I don't know how many of you have been out to Ohio State, seen Ohio State games, but they have the band and they make the big script Ohio on the field. I remember being in the locker room, like watching it on TV while Coach Paterno was talking at the same time. You gotta watch freshmen, true freshmen. When they're out playing, just what if you're watching Penn State, watch the true freshmen because they're always looking around. Those guys, you don't want those guys playing too much. And I was one of those guys. But I was out there, you know, taking it all in, and it was another common theme. We were losing again to Ohio State. But, you know, as a freshman, any chance you get to get in there and make an impression or to make a play, I didn't care if we were losing by 50. I was just excited to be out there. And it's 4th quarter of the game, and the score is 45-6. That wasn't a joke. The score was 45-6, and we were losing by a little bit. And you know, I've been playing throughout the game, but Coach Bradley said, you know, just play the rest of the game. You're gonna be in there for the rest of the 4th quarter. So I'm playing my heart out, doing anything I can to make a play, trying to impress Coach Paterno. And then the play happens that basically changes my life. At that time, the season about 190. And Ohio State has, you know, these big running backs, and the running back that I was playing at the time was about 230 pounds. And I was playing defensive back, playing corner. And I remember the play coming towards me. The quarterback pitched the ball to the running back. He's running right towards me. And I look at him and I think, wow, you know, this guy's coming right at me. If I try to hit him up high, he's going to run me right over. So I go in to take his legs out. A play I had made hundreds, if not thousands of times before. And when I went in to make the tackle, I put my head down, which is a mistake that you hate to see happen on a football field, because when you put your head down, you're prone to spinal cord injury. And when I went to make the tackle, I remember going in for the impact and waking up on the ground. And some of my teammates said, come on, Adam, get up, you know, good tackle, come on, get up. And I said, I can't move. And they said, no, come on, get up. And I told them, I can't move. And I remember looking at my arm, and it looked like my arm was just flailing. And I thought I broke my arm, because I remember trying to move my arm, but I couldn't move it. The thought of being paralyzed never went through my head. You know, when you're going through life or anything, you think all the bad stuff happens to other people. And that's what I thought. I was nervous, of course. I remember our team doctor, Dr. Sebastianelli, came out, and our team trainer, George Salvatierra. And Coach Paterno came out. I remember looking up at Coach Paterno, and I could see he was concerned. And I remember asking, you know, Dr. Sebastianelli, what's wrong? What's going on? I thought I had a stinger. That's what I thought it was. And they told me to stop moving, stop trying to move. And if you see the video of the injury, I was fortunate that I got hurt near our sideline, because the doctors were out there within 10 seconds of my injury. Because if I would have moved or kept trying to move, I probably would have done more damage to myself. I remember them wheeling me off the field. And I knew my mom was watching. And she was the first one I thought about. And I said, you know what? I know I'm hurt. I know she's watching, but you know, when you see a guy getting wheeled off the field, they give a thumbs up. And that's what I was going to do. And I remember trying to give a thumbs up, and I couldn't do it. And that's when I started to panic a little bit, because it had been almost 10 minutes now and I still wasn't moving anything. And the doctors put me in the ambulance, and they started asking me questions, you know, where are you? In Columbus, how old are you? I'm 18, you know, spell your last name, which my last name is Taliaferro. It's not an easy last name to spell. I spelled it correctly. So I thought, you know, I can't be hurt that bad. I'm answering all these questions correctly. But they took me to get my CAT scans and MRI, and that's when I discovered that I had broken my C5 vertebrae and severely bruised my spinal cord. And they called my parents, and I had a little brother, and my dad told my mom to stay home with my brother, and my dad came out. And I remember waking up and looking up at him, and I said, I guess my football career is over. He said, son, you got bigger things to worry about right now. And they told him that night in the hospital, after looking at my x-rays, my CAT scans, and all the other stuff, that due to the severity of my injury, there's a good chance that I would probably never walk again. And my dad decided not to tell me that. So he came back into my room and said, Adam, you're going to walk. You're going to get through this. And I said, what are you talking about? What's wrong? He said, you've been hurt, but I just want you to know you're going to get through it. And I took that as gospel, and from that point, I believed I was going to walk. I remember them rolling me in there. I looked around and I saw these people in wheelchairs. And I said, wow, what am I doing here? All these people in wheelchairs, people with, on breathing machines. And when I looked around and I looked down at myself, that's the first time I realized I was disabled, that I was one of those people. And my dad, he would always tell me, try to move anything. Try to move a finger or toe. And I would lay in the bed and just try to move anything. It was nothing. And that's when the first day I basically laid in my bed all day, just miserable. And the second day, I told myself, you can't change the past. All you can do now is work towards the future to try to get yourself out of this predicament. And that's when I met my physical therapist for the first time. And I play football. I've been coached by men my entire life that yelled at me, screamed at me. But this was a 5'6" woman. She walks into my room and says, "Get your butt up." And that was our first interaction. But I tell you, my physical therapist was tougher than any football coach I ever had in my life. After meeting my physical therapist and seeing the dedication that she mapped out what we were going to do to get me back on my feet. And after listening to her, I thought to myself, wow, these people care about my recovery just as much as I do. And I want to not only do this for myself, but do it for her to show her that I'm capable of recovering. Physical therapists, occupational therapists, doctors, anyone in the healthcare community, they do miracles every day in hospitals. But there's no news cameras there. There's no news stories about it. But they're in there giving their all to these patients. And people don't realize it. But I saw it each and every day. And I told myself I would never forget that. Because without those people, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.